Hey, Bears fans. Thanks for stopping by. So we're about a little under 2 weeks until the official NFL draft. So I just wanted to jump on the bandwagon of mock drafts and go ahead and do my mock draft 1.0. Here we go. So I'm going to be doing the full 7-round mock draft on profootballnetwork.com and just picking for the Bears. Let's go ahead and get this going. All right. Well, I'm going to kind of go slow in the first couple of picks here just to see what they're doing. But Anthony Richardson, the first quarterback off the board, that's just something else to me. I do not see that happening in real life, but okay, let's just go ahead and go. CJ Stroud makes sense. Will Anderson, okay, yep. Okay, let's just so the Saints are offering me some stuff from Denver. Second, interesting. So let's go ahead and I wasn't planning to do any trades in this one. I think I'm going to stand by that. So no trades. So Anthony Richardson off the board first. C.J. Stroud, Will Anderson Jr., Bryce Young. The Richardson pick doesn't make sense to me, but everything else kind of makes sense. Tyree Wilson, Christian Gonzalez. You know, that would make me happy if the Lions do that. Will Levis to the Raiders, and then Jalen Carter right before our pick. And so hear me out. If Jalen Carter was still there, the Bears have to take him, right? Like that's their biggest need is on the defensive line, the 3-tech position. Everyone's been talking about that for as long as we have been talking about that, right? And so if Jalen Carter was still on the board, it would be very hard to not take him. But he is off the board, so that takes it off. I do not want him to go to the Lions because I like Jalen Carter. I'm a fan just because, like, if we were at number one, that's who we would have picked. But if he goes to the Lions, I mean, with Aiden Hutchinson on that line, and they have some other good players there as well, you put Jalen Carter in that line, and that's just terrifying to me. So I'm glad that they didn't pick him at 6 there. So my hot take, which I was trying to say, is that if the Bears love Jalen Carter still after meeting with him, that's the thing. It's like they have to do their due diligence. And if he is still checking all their boxes and they're not worried about his behavior, they know that he loves football. He proved that he loves football to them when they met twice, right? If Jalen Carter is on the board at 9, oh, I'm sorry, if he's on the board at 5, my hot take, if they still love him, is that the Bears should move up to 5 to not let the Lions get him so we can take him. That's like the one. I mean, I think that Poles is going to move around anyway. He's going to be trading. He's going to be wheeling and dealing like he was last year. But I would not put it past them to trade up to 5 to get Jalen Carter if they love him. That would be insane to me. If the Seahawks take him at 5, fine. If the Lions take him at 6, shit. Okay. Anyways, so here we are at number 9. So Paris Johnson's a pretty safe pick. Miles Murphy, he's climbing up the board again. So Devin Witherspoon, I can see the Bears trading down. I can see them drafting Paris Johnson. I can see them drafting Devin Witherspoon because as another cornerback. I think people would get mad about that, but at the same time, if you think about it, Jalen Johnson is on his last year of his rookie deal, so he's either going to get paid or he's going to be a free agent next year. And I know the cornerbacks, it is still a position of need considering Jalen Johnson is your CB1 and then Kyler Gordon is your nickel corner. So that is still a need, and that could very well be the pick here. Jackson Smith and Jigba, I think before the DJ Moore trade, I was all about that. Now, not so much, because I feel like either Mooney or Claypool will also get an extension because they're both on their last year of the rookie deal. So I think that they could take JSN here, and that I would be fine with that. But that makes me a little bit nervous for Mooney. I like Mooney, but I could see them trading Mooney away because like they're kind of, I guess, the similar body type, slot position kind of receiver. Um, so that could be interesting. Peter Skoronski, I don't know why he's right at number 16. I guess he dropped a little bit, but I could also see the Bears taking him. That might be the favorite. Although he has shorter arms, everyone's saying he's got shorter arms, but I do think that Peter Skoronski could be a pick here. But here's what I'm going to do. I like Paris Johnson, Miles Murphy, great. But I'm going to draft Bijan Robinson. And here's why. Let me check the trade offers. No. Perfect. Okay. Okay, so everyone is really concerned about the offensive line, and I agree. We do need an offensive line. But I think Poles has said multiple times that this draft class is really deep on the offensive line and really deep on the defensive line. So I'm almost leaning like Devin Witherspoon. And like no one likes taking, I know that he doesn't value running backs. Like that's kind of early and high to take a running back. You could try to trade down, but I would be afraid that the Eagles are going to take him at 10 because the Eagles were crazy last year. Obviously, they made it to the Super Bowl. They were really good. They did lose a lot of players, right? But they also lost a running back, and Bijan Robinson on the Eagles would just be scary. So why don't we take him? Everyone's worried about our offensive line, and I do think it does need help. They got Nate Davis right here and plug him in at right guard. Cody Whitehair, move him to center. Tevin Jenkins at left guard. Braxton Jones at left tackle. The right tackle is still a question mark, right? But that still it's still better than last year. And I think that Poles wasn't as disappointed with his offensive line as we were as fans last year. So I think that the drop off between Bijan Robinson and then the next running back is much more substantial than Paris Johnson and Peter Skoronski. And I think that Bijan Robinson could, like, just with Justin Fields. So you get DJ Moore, who's your number one receiver now. I like Khalil Herbert. I like that they did, all the additions they made to the running back group. I do like that. But Bijan Robinson is like compared to like Saquon Barkley. So you put Saquon on our team. That takes the pressure off of Justin. Like you talk about protecting your quarterback. Well, adding him another weapon, another like escape route when he's trying to like, so he doesn't have to run every freaking play on third down and like get the first down. He can like do his check down and rely on his other playmakers to make the play. So he's not taking these hits and his legs aren't burning out like halfway through the season. Why wouldn't you do this? Everyone's saying it's too high to take a running back. You could try to trade down, which I'd be fine with too. I didn't see any trade offers here that I liked anyway. So, but if it's me at this point, Jalen Carter's off the board. Jalen Carter's probably the only one else I would take first over Bijan. But at number 9, I don't think I'm overpicking. You pick him up, you can pick up his 5th-year option. You don't need to necessarily pick up a 2nd-year contract. And you could do what the Panthers did with Christian McCaffrey, is trade him for, if he's still like putting up crazy numbers and you want to stay young at that position, then trade him when he's at the end of his contract or after he agreed to another contract and pick up draft capital that way. But is Bijan Robinson not the number 1 running back in this draft? Maybe it's a hot take. I'm not trading back. I'm taking Bijan at number 9 because, like I said, I don't see the Philadelphia Eagles passing on Bijan Robinson. So therefore, I'm drafting him. And just to go over his stats real quick, Bijan Robinson is 21 years old, 5'11", 215, and he ran a 4.46 40 time. If that 40 time looks familiar to you, it's because Justin Fields ran that same exact 40 time. Maybe he was a 4.44, can't really remember, but that's insane. That's all I'm saying. That's a big help in speed. If you get someone there that's just as fast as Justin Fields, I'm not saying that he is. They can race. Don't hate me, Justin. But that is a damn fast 40 time, and we love to have it. This would be epic. Imagine an offense with Justin Fields, DJ Moore, and Bijan Robinson. Talk about blue chip players. Let's go. Okay, so let's really quick just go through what we saw happen here. Jackson Smith and Jigba goes at number 10. Broderick Jones, Miles Murphy, Peter Skoronski at 13. Isaiah Foskey, Paris Johnson Jr. goes to Packers. Yeah, okay. Lucas Van Ness, Cam Smith, Brian Branch, Devin Witherspoon goes at 19. So, okay. Joey Porter Jr., Keely Ringo, Quentin Johnston, Deontay Banks, 23. Michael Mayer goes to the Jags. The Packers. No, that's right. Okay. What else we got? Brian Brzee goes to goes to the Saints. Dalton Kincaid goes to Dallas. That makes sense. Nolan Smith goes to the Bucks. That makes sense too. Trent Simpson. Zay Flowers goes to the Giants. Jalen Hyatt goes to the Seahawks. Anton Harrison goes to Kansas City. That makes sense. And then Double A over here. He's on a lot of Bears boards there. Jordan Addison, DeJuan Jones, Darnell Wright, Kalijah Kancey. Oh, okay. Luke Musgrave. Sean Michael Smits. Didn't fall. He's fallen to 50. What do we got? 56 before, but that's all right. All right. So let's see. What do we got? 53. Mozzie Smith's off the board. Jack Campbell's off the board. So Hendon Hooker goes to the Bucks. I like that. Although that's not really an immediate fix, so we'll see what happens there. All right, so what do we got on the board here? I mean, just looking at like what's available, we're at 53. Like our defense needs some work. So we got BJ Ojulari, the edge rusher out of LSU. He's a good player. So he had at 53. I don't think that this would be the pick. I was trying to stay true to what Poles would do, and he would probably take something on the defense here, I bet. But what's our next pick? 61. I mean, Darnell Washington is just hard to pass up. I don't think he really fits the mold. I just like him as a player. He's a big old guy. You know, it's basically a lineman there, but a lineman that can go out and run routes and catch passes as a tight end. So I can't pass up that value there at 53, taking Darnell Washington, so I'm going to do that. So real quick, just to go over his stats. He's 21 years old, 6'7", 270 pounds, beast of a man that can run a 4.64 40 time. He's a great run blocker as well. His hands could use a little bit of work, but sign me up for Darnell Washington all day. The board fell this way and I took 2 offensive weapons. I would probably think about trading back and getting more draft capital, but I don't like what I see there, so I'm not going to make any trade offers. So you got BJ Ojulari, Tuli Tuipulotu, and Siaka Ika. Just based on production, I think Tuli was the most productive that we have. I think that you got to go with Tuli here. Yep. So Tuli's a young guy. He's 20 years old, but he's 6'4" and 290 pounds, and I think he's like the perfect size for what Eberflus is looking for from his defensive edge. Oh, yeah, and he had 13.5 sacks. Round 3, Cody Mock is still there. That would be a hard one to pass up. If we just go by best player available, I think Cody Mock has to be it, right? Zach, actually, let's see, your second. No, I already took BJ. Not taking another running back, although I will say if they don't take Bijan Robinson, I do predict that they'll take a running back at some point in this draft. Zach Charbonnet would be an interesting one. I mean, just going by what's available on the board here. I'm going to have to go with Cody Mauch. It took me 4 picks, but I finally got Justin Fields some help on the offensive line. So Cody's 24 years old. He's 6'5", 302 pounds, and his 40 time was a 5.08. And just for reference, Braxton Jones ran 4.97 40 times. He had 891 snaps with 1 sack allowed and 8 pressures. That's a pretty good ratio, 891 snaps to 1 sack. He played left tackle in college, and he has played some tight end in his day. But he can right away come in and be your plug-and-play right tackle, I believe, or he can compete for the left tackle position with Braxton Jones, and maybe Braxton can move to right. All right, so here we are at pick 103. I mean, honestly, I'm probably not going to stray too much. Henry 202 is kind of an interesting one. We need some depth at linebacker. Wide receiver depth is always good. See, Chase Brown, I'd like him here if I didn't already get Bijan Robinson. So I'm just going to go based on need here. And we're going to take Zach Pickens, a defensive tackle out of South Carolina. So Zach Pickens was a 5-star recruit coming out of high school, but in college he never quite lived up to it. He's 23 years old, 6'4", and 305 pounds, and he ran a 4.89 40 time. Last year he had 2.5 sacks and 22 solo tackles. So nothing too crazy, but that is a pretty good 40 time for a defensive tackle. So it might be something that Flus can work with. So this is very interesting to me. I think this would be a very big steal if you get Ricky Stromberg, the center out of Arkansas. Ooh, at 133, I don't know if that's going to happen, but honestly, that's fantastic. Let me look through. That he kind of just fell to us there. That's the steal of the draft right there. I'm really happy with that. So Ricky Stromberg is 22 years old. He's 6'4" and 313, and his 40 time was a 5.26. In 2022, he played 542 snaps with 0 sacks allowed and 0 QB hits. That is how you keep your quarterback clean. Oh, damn. I was just doing a quick search for Andrew Voorhees, and he went at 130, so he went 6 picks before. And this would be a good... So Andrew Voorhees is a guard who injured himself in the combine, but he still was repping, doing some bench pressing. And so I don't know, I forget if he tore an ACL or something. I'll look that up, but he still... yeah, he still did. I just like him. I would have definitely taken him at 136, but he's not on the board. So that is fine. So let's see what we got on the board here. I'm just going to kind of go with it. So in round 5 with pick 136 overall, I select Mohamed Diabate, linebacker out of Utah. He's 21 years old. He's 6'4", 222 pounds, and he ran a 4.52. So he's tall, he's fast, not the biggest body. Just for reference, Jack Sanborn is 6'2", 234. But I think Mohamed can come in right away and contribute. He's not going to maybe not be a starter, but he'll be in the rotation. All right, we're flying now. So at pick 148 in round 5, I selected Jamie Robinson out of Florida State. He's 22 years old. He's 5'11", 203 pounds, and he ran a pretty decent time at the 40 at the combine, which was a 4.59. That's a good size for a safety as well. I think the most notable thing here is that he had 99 total tackles, which is pretty nice, 5 pass breakups, and 1 interception last year. So, and then again, this will just add more depth to the safety room that already has Eddie Jackson, Jaquan Brisker, Elijah Hicks, and I believe DHC is still in there. But again, Jamie would just add some young talent in that safety room. And this is actually interesting too, because like that, this has also been mocked to us a couple times, but DTR, Dorian Thompson Robinson, the quarterback out of UCLA, similar skill set to Justin Fields, drafting a quarterback first pick of the 7th round. I don't think that's horrible. Let's do it. He's 23 years old, 6'2", 203 pounds, and he ran a 4.56 40 time. So I think these are some solid backup QB stats. Could be a QB3, potentially with an upside of a QB2. I am surprised to see him fall this far. I don't think he'll fall quite to the 7th round, but crazier things have happened. I think this is a solid. It's solid backup and potentially an insurance policy for Justin Fields if Justin Fields doesn't do well. I think that DTR is a steal to get in the 7th round. At worst, he's a solid backup for Justin Fields, and at best, he's a future starter in this league. All right, and then last but not least, with the second to last pick of the NFL draft, at number 258, I select Corey Durden, the defensive tackle out of North Carolina State. He's 24 years old, 6'4", 305 pounds, and he ran a 5.22 40 time. In his last year, he didn't have any sacks last year, but he had 3.5 in 2021. And then he had 12 solo tackles, 27 total tackles last year. In the 7th round, you're just kind of looking for depth, looking for someone to come in and compete, maybe be a practice squad candidate. So you're kind of just picking what you have there. All right, so just to recap our draft real quick. So we got number 9, we took Bijan Robinson. Tell me what you guys think of that pick, if you would do it or if that was a little too high for you. I do agree it's a little high for running back, and I don't think Poles would do it there. I feel like more of a trade back situation somewhere. I feel like the Philadelphia Eagles at 10 would take him. So that's why I kind of jumped ahead and just, went with him at 9 rather than trying to trade back and then he's gone. And then keeping on the offensive side, at number 53, I took Darnell Washington out of Georgia, tight end out of Georgia. Really love that player. I think that he's a big guy. He's got decent hands, as a third tight end. I think that Darnell Washington would complement Cole Kmet and Robert Tonyan really well as a third tight end. And then all of a sudden you're looking at your tight end group, and that's another strong point that was a weak point last year. So this would be an insane amount of weapons for Justin Fields this year. If this is a prove it year for Justin Fields, you get him Bijan Robinson, you get him Darnell Washington with your first 2 picks. I think that would be incredible. And then I finally addressed the defensive line with Tuipulotu out of the edge out of USC. I think he can come in and obviously this is going to be a rotating defensive line, so he can kind of be part of that rotation, but he could definitely be a starter on our team, I think. As well as the next pick, Cody Mauch, offensive tackle out of North Dakota State. I think he can come in and start at your right tackle right away. All right, then after your Cody Mauch, I went ahead and got defensive tackle Zach Pickens out of South Carolina. And then I went ahead and at 133, he kind of fell to me here, but Ricky Stromberg was still there, the center out of Arkansas, and I think that would be a fantastic signing. If you're starting Cody Whitehair at center, Cody Whitehair is still kind of a cut candidate, so I think that if you get Ricky Stromberg or another starting caliber center, you could potentially cut Cody Whitehair, leave Lucas Patrick as the backup center, or maybe you can start Lucas Patrick at first. But I also think one of them, either Lucas Patrick or Cody Whitehair could get cut if you get a center. So Lucas Patrick did not play very well at guard, so he doesn't have a lot of versatility. He did okay at center, I feel like, but he also got hurt like immediately when he started at center. So I think getting another center in there would be a good idea. And then at 136, I got Mohamed Diabate, a linebacker out of Utah, just to add a little bit of depth to that linebacking core. Our linebacking core is already really strong. Now you have Tremaine Edmonds, you got TJ Edwards, and you got Jack Sanborn. Now you add Muhammad, and I think that room has plenty of depth, and I think that's amazing. And then at 148, now this is getting later in the draft, I went ahead and got another safety, out of Florida State, Jamie Robinson. And then with 218, the first pick of the 7th round, I went ahead and got Dorian Thompson-Robinson, the quarterback out of UCLA. And I think I kind of like that pick as well, just because if you can get Dorian Thompson-Robinson in the 7th round as like an insurance policy, also just to have another good backup. I know that we got PJ Walker out of Carolina, but this guy could be our number 3, and then Nathan Peterman could either be in the practice squad or whatever. He's just good to have in the room, and then the Bears have said that. But to get someone else that could be a potential backup and have a similar play style to Justin Fields. And then with the last pick that we had, 258, I got another defensive tackle, Corey Durden out of North Carolina State. So I think overall, the offense is just looking incredible. The defense, again, probably still needs a little bit of work, but that's just kind of what it is. This is a building process. This is, what Poles has said. You got to be patient with the process. He's starting to get, players in there. And if you add any of these players, honestly, looking at them again, the top 6 picks here, I'm pretty happy with those. I'm happy with my whole draft. So, yeah. Hey guys, thanks for watching my video and sticking around till the end. Let me know what you thought of my mock draft. Go ahead and feel free to give me a letter grade, A through B. And let me know what your favorite pick was. Was it Bijan Robinson? Was it DTR? Go ahead and leave a comment down below. And also don't forget to hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on my new content. And until next time, bear down.